There are only two things that make this whole business. There's the artist and there's fans. And yet, we're still in a period where the RIAA is suing hundreds of people every month just for being music fans. It's kind of, I think 2008 is the time when this is going to change, and I think the emphasis is now coming back onto the music fans. So we're here to look at these new models. Midem has done an amazing job at putting together this panel. I'm just going to run through, at the end here, we've got Johan Vosmeijer from Sellaband. Next to Johan, we've got Fabrice Sergent from Cellfish. Next to Fabrice is Bryan Perez from Live Nation. And then Partovi from iLike. And last but not least, Chuck D, a visionary, one of the founders of Public Enemy. I want to kick things off just by looking at this idea I mentioned before. The RIAA is still suing people. I mean, there isn't an element of copyright infringement, I guess, but it's largely it's kind of fan behaviour. You know, they want to get hold of stuff. Is it an oversimplification just to say that the reason this business is in decline, the reason the recorded music, at least, business is in decline at the moment, is because there's been not enough attention paid on looking at what fans want? Ali?
I don't think the not paying attention to fans is the only source of trouble. I think there's a lot of external situations that are just hard to resolve, with the consolidation in retail, the consolidation in radio. Just makes it for the record industry, it creates a difficult environment. I do think that paying attention to fans actually can be part of the solution. And I think it's, the internet creates the promise of artists being able to directly communicate to their fans, which is a great thing for the artists. It's great for the fans, and sometimes that's viewed by the record label as potentially threatening, because maybe it reduces their raison d'etre. But I think at the same time, there's tremendous ways that a label or a promoter can benefit from taking advantage of how the internet enables more direct and more personalized connections with fans.
Can you just kind of talk us through what Live Nation's doing at the moment and how you're extending the ownership or the communication with fans beyond just the live event?
Sure. So, the core of our business is live events, but over the past couple of years we established the digital division, and we're really trying to focus solely on the fan. Our CEO once gave a great speech. He said, we all got into this business, the concert promoting business, because we were fans. And we wanted to be backstage, and the second we did get backstage, we forgot what it was like to be a fan. And he said, we can't ever do that, because that is the lifeblood of our industry. We only exist for the benefit of the artist and the fan. We are not the industry. So really changed the culture of the organization to focusing on the fan and doing things that at the time were quite radical. We started listing everybody's shows, other promoters' shows on our website, and it was the fundamental premise of the fan didn't care who was promoting the show, they just needed the information. I think all solutions come from focusing on the fan, because if we just follow their needs, they're going to guide us into these higher margin businesses. So along that way, we did, acquire Ultrastar, which is a artist fan club company. We acquired Music Today. We established our Live Nation Studios group. So for us, it was about assembling a whole new set of skill sets in this kind of digital environment that took advantage of the core of the business, but really took us in new directions.
Johan, you know this more than anyone. If you're a new, aspiring, just beginning, start of your career artist, obviously you're not going to make money from touring. It has to start somewhere. And with your business, it starts with the CD still. Yep. The CD is the main thing. I think it might be useful if you just explain a little bit about how it works.
Yeah, sure. It starts with the CD, but it starts with the music, really, and be it CD or be it downloads. What we do on Sellaband, it's basically a platform that empowers both fans, for lack of a better word, and artists to connect together, to communicate together. Basically, artists sign up and try to raise $50,000 US, and as a fan, you can invest in these artists, these unsigned artists. So a band tries to raise $50,000, and we issue shares in increments of $10. So every band issues 5,000 shares. We call them parts because that's a more sympathetic word. And then artists invest in this band. And then when a band gets to $50,000, we make a professional album with this band, and it will be sent to these fans as a sort of investment certificate. So you get a tangible copy, and on top of that we do digital distribution, and we do marketing promotion. And what's even better, I think, for both the artist and the fans is that they all participate in the revenues that we generate via advertising and music sales.
Fabrice as well, I just think that we should touch on mobile.
We addressed most of our product over the last 4 years to fans, because the way we market is to direct market, to buy space and to promote stuff on TV, print, and so on. And we did this not only representing the labels, but also creating the first digital labels specifically and focused on mobile, such as Blinktones that we launched in the US and in Europe, and which are extremely successful with artists creating music for our target. So by doing direct marketing and by creating products that they like, we prove the case that what matters is the way you address the fans, rather than the industry or an overall trends that would be declining whatsoever on this specific target. The thing is that we realized that those marketing machines that we created, the CRM technology and so on, would be fantastic also if we provided them for free to the artists themselves and to the community. We've launched a free portal called Cellfish.com, and specifically currently launching a mobile fan club that enable artists to store stuff, either be it live or music or images or videos from archives and so on, be it free or paying stuff, and to enable their fans to hook to this fan club by registering, by giving their telephone number, and by being alerted via SMS primarily when anything happens in this virtual fan club.
You know, we can learn stuff from other industries as well, and we were talking about sports. I mean, music isn't the only place where there are fans. The communication, the branding, the logos, all of that stuff, you know, it really exists in sports, and it might be something that the music business can learn from. I mean, I don't know if you've got some ideas on this, the way that things can throw out. Obviously, you run a label, you own a label, you're involved in a lot of online things.
Right, the running of a digital label is so important to look at the surrounding access to people, businesses that or outlets that are available to you. And I know, for example, that I have to always be aware of the word fan, because fan is short for fanatic. So there has to be some kind of standard of artistry that always continues to get worked on in order for people to be fanatical. And we know it's different from sports, which you have an undetermined outcome, and there's always that suspense. But also in the area of art and entertainment, there has to be a standard. So the question is like, when does the fan, you know, stop being a fan in music? And also there are reasons for that. And here's another thing, it's like, what's the separation between someone who's fanatical about the art and the artists themselves? Because if the standard comes down and the fans actually could play a guitar just as good as somebody who gets promoted from a major label, then the interactivity of the fans integrated with situations becomes even that more important. But the standard always has to be raised for the fan to continue to be fanatical. You see it in sports. Anybody from the United States, you have kids who are 3 years old and they're fans of the 100-year-old New York Yankee baseball team. So they never go away. The New York Giants in football, American football, are going to the Super Bowl, and they've had fans and families for at least 60 years, and they have a waiting list for 40 years. There's got to be some kind of way that music can actually get into integrating the possibility for fans doing their artistry and also the like, no pun intended.